Yeah,
Shut your
let's get
mouth.
into some games.
Let's talk football. Let's talk football.
Mm.
Folks, we got a great one happening this Friday night game. Friday night game. They're going to be battling for the spot with the Logan Paul fight, which I hear a lot of people saying it's going to be the first time that Logan Paul, no, Jake Paul.
Jake Paul.
Jake Paul actually gets knocked out, but that's how Jake Paul gets lures people in with the fake promise of getting knocked
I
out,
was
and he
gonna
never
say,
does.
like, there's some gravity to those fights are maybe fixed ahead of time because Anthony Joshua is a monster. So we'll see about
We'll
that.
see what
But
happens.
also, this game starts 8 p.m. I don't think they're going to do the main event walk in that fight until about like 12:30.
You're probably not wrong.
So
Well, you know more about that stuff than I do, but yeah, we got Bama at Oklahoma. Um, we got a lot of stats on here, Kev. I didn't really read through them that much. But look, it's tough for me to forget that head to head. I have to go back and check, but the Tide screwed all three of us in the picks in that first matchup. I don't know if you remember, we all picked them and
yeah.
they just flopped on the game. So now the script is completely flipped, and I feel like I'm an idiot to pick Bam again, right? But either way in this game, this is kind of a cool thing I thought about. We're gonna have a repeat of the first matchup in that we're either going to have a Oklahoma victory or we're gonna have an upset on the favorite team's home turf.
True. Yeah. I mean, it
Yeah,
is kind of a win-win as a, unbiased third party because we either get to see Alabama lose, which it's tough,
everybody
but
likes to see
we're
that.
conditioned to like that. Or yeah, we get to see the first, home team lose one of these matchups. Yeah, you're not
Looking at Bama
crazy.
to snap a 3-game potential losing streak that they don't want to see happen. So
I was gonna actually that was when I was driving down tonight, 4-hour car ride in the rain. I
sick.
was thinking, so if Alabama does lose to Oklahoma, that'll be 3 straight losses to Oklahoma. Is that
Correct.
what other team
That's
has done that to Bama since
that's a good point.
I
Actually, I
wanted
didn't
to
even think
look it
about
up
that.
before, but I couldn't I mean, in the chat, if anybody does know that, that would be very interesting. If any I
I
mean,
feel
since Nick Saban took over, has there been a team that's beaten Alabama 3 straight years? Like, maybe
I'm trying
Auburn
to
got
think of
him
their
back-to-back
losses.
years?
It wouldn't have been recently enough for Auburn. Yeah, okay. Just trying to think of Alabama's losses this season to see if anybody else would be on there because
No, I mean, they
Alabama,
avenged the Vanderbilt loss.
correct.
Um,
And
yeah,
then wait,
that's
I can't remember who are Alabama's losses. Okay, there obviously was the Georgia game at
Georgia
the title
and
game, and they
Florida
lost to
State.
Oklahoma. Florida State. I can't imagine Florida State's on there. I forgot about the Florida State one.
Yeah, because I
Um,
remember Alabama played Florida State in, like, 2019. They played them somewhat recently, beat them. But
yeah,
I will say in that first game, you can see the stats right there. They put up 326 yards passing against Oklahoma. It was not their ability to move the ball that was the issue. It was all of the turnovers. They had 3 turnovers. Yeah, they had a Oklahoma had a defensive touchdown. There were also other fumbles that Alabama ended up recovering their own fumbles. Like, it could have been a 4 or 5 turnover margin. There was a couple not dropped interceptions, but interceptable balls that didn't. It was a complete, like, collapsing in on themselves by
yeah,
Alabama. Like, they
yeah,
were moving the ball as much as they needed to, but they just get to a point where they decide, all right, good place as ever, pull out the pistol, shoot himself in the foot, and that was the story there. But that Alabama team, that's not the same Alabama team right now. Like,
no,
they've not. I mean, you can see there. I don't think they've had a really impressive win since they beat Tennessee at home 37-20. I mean, they eked by Auburn. They beat the hell out of what, Citadel? I got their schedule here. Yeah,
that
sorry, Eastern
SEC
Illinois.
the week that the SEC took off.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, they lost to Oklahoma. They beat LSU 20-9 right after LSU fired their coach. Barely got by South Carolina. Like, it's not the same. They've fallen a
it's
little bit
not.
since that first meeting. In that first meeting as well, Alabama did not start a drive farther than their own 30-yard line. Last week against Georgia, they didn't start a drive farther than their own 25-yard line. Meanwhile, Georgia started 3 drives inside Alabama territory. In this first meeting between Alabama and Oklahoma, I believe Oklahoma started 4 drives inside Alabama territory. So, field position and turnovers, those are 2 things that you can kind of fix up, you know? Those are things that if you're more prepared, you can you can fix those. And so if that happens, could be completely different outcome in Norman. But yeah, that's I think those were kind of my main
Okay.
stats.
I'm gonna let you go, Kev. I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Oklahoma, yeah, I think they need to clean up their penalties. Bama's been really good not committing penalties. They're 42 yards per game. The reason I think Oklahoma's going to win this game, and I could have just put money line, but I think they are a good run defense. And what have I been saying about Alabama all year? Florida State beat them because they were able to make them one dimensional. They're a great passing team, but when they can't run the ball, I mean, you see they've ran for a total of -3 yards against Georgia. When they
Yep.
don't have the threat of a run game, it kind of, you know, you're able to just rush 4, drop back 7, and yeah, that's what I think is gonna happen.
Okay, Kev. Um, so here we got two junior QBs who have only both of them only one season as starters, both making their first CFP appearance. Sooners are number 2 in sacks, number 1 in opponent yards per rush, and number 6 in opponent yards per play. Those are some hungry boys on the D line down there in Norman. I think you and I both know that. The Sooners don't break the top 25 of any offensive metric on teamrankings.com. Bama only breaks the top 25 in being number 18 in pass yards per game and number 3 in interception percentage. Ty Simpson, as we both know, is a guy who's got a lot of weapons to throw to. That's probably why they have some pass yards per game stats that were falling off recently, like you've said. You know what I mean? And then he's also just a careful guy. All that being said, I think it's going to be a defensive game, and I think that both of these defenses are going to put a lot of pressure on 2 quarterbacks that aren't going to have a lot to say. So I'm going to step back from the spread.
Huh.
I'm just taking the under in this. Look, I don't like this game with the spread. I really just don't. I can't. I think it could go either way. I really, really do. Gun to my head as a gambler, I would probably take Alabama just because I hear the 3-game like losing streak to one team. As a gambler, that gives me some pause. So, but again, that's gun to my head. So I'm going to take the under. We'll see what happens. I mean, I think it's going to be a low scoring affair. I really do.
I have one stat, not that I'm
Okay.
trying to convince you of the over. Um,
All right.
Oklahoma, 100% red zone scoring.
Yeah, I saw that. I
That's
did see that.
insane, kind of. They haven't, you know, gotten
Well, they
stopped
have
on
to
4th
get
down.
there.
They haven't
That's you know
missed
what
a
I mean.
field goal. They haven't turned the ball over in the red zone. That's pretty impressive. I think they
Hey,
do settle for field goals a lot, but I think
stats are
you
meant
need
to be broken. They're due for a red zone scoreless possession.
how many points do you think it takes to win this game by either team?
Well, I mean, 20 to 21. I don't understand the question.
I just mean like if you're an Alabama fan or you're an Oklahoma fan, what's the
How much
least
do
amount of
they have
point?
to score to win the game?
Yeah. Like
Okay.
what would you feel comfortable?
Like score deficit or just score on the board?
Like, I think if one team can score 21 points, I think they can win this game. I think they win this game easily.
I mean, with saying that, I don't know how you're going with the over, but okay. Um,
Yeah, I didn't think that through, but I I sorry, you threw me you made me pause when you didn't understand my question. I feel like it's a pretty standard question, like, how many
well,
points do you
you
think
got it
it
messed
takes to
up,
win
so
this game?
clearly it's not.
Well, how many points do you think it takes to win this
Next
game?
game. All
Alright,
right.
and like and subscribe, and thank you guys.
Oh, yeah,
Alright.
wait, I forgot to do that. Oh, yeah, like and subscribe, guys. Thank you guys for joining in. I'm going to be making sure that next week we are starting college basketball. Kev, I saw 2 very close, almost upset games where an American team almost beat an SEC opponent last night. One was in Memphis versus Vanderbilt, and another one was where Bama almost lost the USF. I know I'm talking actual. It's funny how those 2 headlines could almost sound like football, but nope, that was basketball, I promise you. And
Yeah, and
then I
that dance
saw
game went into overtime, right?
it did. The Memphis game went into overtime, yeah.
Yeah.
And I heard that the Memphis coach, one of his players, what he started doing because he hasn't been a very disciplined player, he didn't like do a motivational thing. He didn't make him run laps. He started fining him. And I'm
Huh.
like, all right, that's motivation. Adapt, adapt. Good stuff. Okay. But yeah, like and subscribe, guys. We're going to be doing college basketball soon. And I really appreciate you guys joining in and comment on what you guys would like us to be covering next. All right.